Welcome everybody. I'm Randy Baxter. I'm the president of Asset Positioning Services, and we're here today to do our Family Tree Asset Positioning Go-To first interview. Our guests tonight are Greg and Gwen Davis, and we're just going to show you how it's done. So, are you guys ready?
Yes, sir.
Ready.
Okay. Well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have an agenda that we can follow. And the reason we want to do that is just so that if you have any questions, you can make a note or two if you want to, and you just know where you are, okay? So what we're doing, the very first thing that I like to do is it helps me be a better advisor to you all if I understand your family dynamics. So first thing we're going to be doing after we look at the agenda here, we're going to be talking about the family tree illustration. We're going all the way down, we'll be talking about gaps and cliffs and all the way down to where you can make any remarks that you want to at the end. Okay, so the first thing I want to do then is draw that family tree. First thing I'm going to do, Greg, is I'm going to start out with you.
Okay.
And I just need to know your birthday. Okay, and you're married to Gwen. And Gwen, what is your birthday? Okay. Greg, are your mom and father, your parents still alive?
No, they passed away.
Okay, are their estates settled?
Yeah, their state settled.
Okay. And Gwen?
My parents are deceased.
And both of them? Are their
Yes.
estates settled?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So, how many children do you all have born to this marriage?
Two.
Two. Do you have any children not born to this marriage?
No.
Nope.
Okay. And who's your oldest child?
Courtney.
Courtney. Okay. And what does Courtney do for a living?
She's an attorney.
An attorney. And what's her birthday?
Okay.
And it is fun. Okay. So Courtney's married, right?
She's married.
Okay. And what is her husband's name?
Matt.
Matt. And do you know how old Matt is?
Same age,
Okay.
I think.
Mhm.
They're very close in age.
All right. And they have two children?
Two children.
Okay. And how old is their oldest child?
Clara is 9.
Okay.
And Maggie's 6?
4.
4. I try to make her older.
Maggie.
Maggie is 4.
Does Courtney live here in Knoxville?
Yeah. She was
So they live nearby?
Yes,
nearby.
they do.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. And then you have another child,
Yes.
Micah.
Micah. How do you spell that?
Micah.
And Micah's married?
He's
He is
married
Okay. And
to Whitney.
to Whitney. Whitney.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And what's Courtney's last name?
Scholar.
Scholar.
Okay. And of course, Micah's a Davis. Right?
Yes.
And do they have one child or two?
One child.
One child. And how old is that child?
13 months.
13 months.
13 months.
And what's that child's name?
Sawyer.
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 Okay. And are they here in Knoxville?
No.
They're
They're
in
in
Cumberland Gap.
Cumberland Gap,
Cumberland Gap.
Tennessee.
Okay. All right. But still, that's just like an hour and a half away.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
All right. Okay. And how old is Whitney?
She's younger than Micah.
She is 32.
Okay. And what does Micah do for a living?
He is the archery coach at Carson Newman College.
The archery coach.
The archery coach.
That's pretty wild.
It is.
At Carson Newman.
At Carson Newman.
And how old is Micah?
37.
37.
That's true.
That's the most unusual occupation I've heard of in a while.
Well, he's was a teacher for 8 years,
Uh-huh.
and then they came to him looking for him to be the archery coach.
Wow.
It's his dream job.
Yeah, it is a dream job. Huh.
It is.
That's pretty wild. Okay, so is there anybody in your family tree that we've left out here that's active into your family?
No.
No.
Okay, all right. So that's your family tree. Okay. The next thing I want to do is we're here to talk about estate plan, and a lot of people, a lot of attorneys, when they explain their estate plan, they tell you how much they know about the trust and how much the will and the power of attorney for finances and healthcare. And I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to do it in reverse. Okay. So we're going to talk about the healthcare directive and the living will first. Okay. Now, most attorneys charge anywhere from $3,500 to $5,900 for these fees. I'll tell you up front, we have a retail cost of these plans that's $1,995, and we'll discuss that later.
Okay.
I just want you to know the difference in what's going on. But the other thing that we do is our estate plans are lifetime license agreements. That anytime you have a change in your life, from change in relationship or change in assets or change in health, you can change this without any additional legal expenses for the rest of your life.
That's nice.
That is
That's
nice.
really good.
Okay. So, and you can do it on your own. You don't have to do it through me. All you have to know is
Oh.
what your login is and what your password is. I want to encourage you to call me because I can probably help you with it. But it's something that when you buy it, you own it.
Okay.
All right. So anyway, I'm going to start with the Best Care Directive, and I'm going to have to take you on a little journey here.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Greg.
Yeah.
This evening, before you go to sleep, you're in the hospital, and you're in a coma, and the doctor doesn't think you're going to survive. Here's
Yeah.
what I want to know. Who in this family tree do you want to represent you if that happens?
Well, Gwen initially.
Okay, so Gwen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But now, Gwen, I don't know what happened, but you're on the table with him. Okay? And you can't speak either. So, Greg, if Gwen can't do it, who would you choose?
I don't know. Which one would be least basket case?
I
Courtney?
would like to make them both.
Both?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe, so that they
either
would
one.
have
Okay. All
a
right.
joint decision.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as far as your power of attorney for health care, you would want the spouse first and then your children.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, Greg,
Okay.
you're on that table.
Mm-hmm.
You're in a coma. The doctor doesn't think you're going to die, but you're going to be disabled for 6 or 8 months. Who do you want to handle your finances?
Well, Gwen,
Okay.
um,
And would you want both of them? Or would you pick Courtney or would you pick Micah?
might be Courtney because she's closer.
Yeah, probably Courtney for
Okay.
finances,
Okay.
for the convenience.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So your power of attorney for health care would be each other and then both your children. And
Mhm.
then for finances would be each other and Courtney. Would you choose Courtney too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So now I'm going to even go a little further.
Ooh.
You both die on that table.
Yeah.
Okay. Who do you want to handle your estate?
Both the children.
Okay,
Yeah.
both the children.
Be Courtney.
Okay. So on your will, you would want spouses first, and then both the children be
Exactly.
co-executors.
Right,
Yes.
co, yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So the next thing I want to do then is I want to talk to you a little bit about how trust works.
Okay.
And you really have to understand the different roles that you will be playing or serving inside your trust. And the first one is you're going to be, in Tennessee, they call it a settler. Okay?
Mhm.
But in some states they call the owner of the trust, the settler owns the trust. In some states they call the owner of the trust the grantor or the trustor. And they mean the same thing. Okay? So as settlor, that means you own the trust, and only the settlors can change the trust. And since you're married,
Yeah.
to change your trust, you have to agree. Okay, so anything that we do when we set this up, we want to be sure that you're happy with it. And you know exactly, you can change your power of attorney if you want to. You don't have to get Greg to agree to that. Greg, you can change yours.
Mhm.
Okay, you can change your will that way, but in your trust, you both have to agree.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So you're going to be settlers, but you're also going to be trustee. So I don't want to confuse it. You're going to be trustor, but you're also going to be trustee.
Okay.
Trustee's the manager of the trust.
Okay.
And the manager's job is to follow what the trustor says. Okay, and that's the promise you make is if you're going to be trustee, you will do what the trustor wanted. Okay, so there's going to be 4 instances where you're not going to be trustee in your life. Probably only 1, but there's 4 occasions where you might not be trustee anymore.
Yeah.
So in the first one, everybody knows one of you may pass away.
Right.
So Greg, I'll pick on you. If you pass away first, That doesn't promote Courtney or Micah. That means that if you die first, then Gwen, you're in charge, you're the trustee. And you don't need Greg's permission anymore to change anything.
Okay,
All right,
good.
so, okay. All right. So the first one is you might pass away, but the
Yeah.
other one is your personal doctor and one other physician have to agree that you can't make decisions anymore, for either because of illness or mental capacity or whatever.
Yeah.
So there has to be two.
Okay,
All right. So pass away, two doctors, and the third one is a judge can rule that you can no longer be trustee, and it happens.
Okay.
You know, sometimes people commit crimes, and the judges will remove them
okay.
as trustee. So that's the third one.
Okay.
The fourth one is one I do a lot of that people don't ever expect too much. And the fourth one is at any point in time you can resign as trustee. You can't resign as trustor unless you get a divorce or terminate the trust, unless both of you agree.
Right.
Okay, so you can't terminate the trust if both of you agree. But as trustee, you can resign. And I've done a lot of resignations in the past. A lot of times it's because of age. Sometimes it's because of age and how complex the estate is.
Okay.
Sometimes mom and dad just don't want to do it anymore. And sometimes they would rather just turn the authority of the trusteeship over to a couple of family members to get people to quit trying to convince them to change things. Okay, so at some point in life you will not be trustee if you die, if your doctor and another doctor agree, or a judge rules, or you choose to resign.
Okay.
Okay, are you all okay with that? You understand that?
Yeah.
Understand, yes.
Okay, all right. So the next thing we'll be talking about beneficiaries and things like that, but just not right this minute.
Okay,
Okay, but I would make the assumption that your beneficiaries are Courtney and Micah,
yes.
Yeah.
and a lot of people don't include the spouses. So if Courtney passed away before you all did, would you want Courtney's share of the money to go to Micah, or would you want it to go to Courtney's children, or would you want it to go to Courtney's children and her husband?
To Courtney's children.
Okay, that's called per stirps.
Sort of, yeah, and here again, it would depend upon age. You know, if they're minors.
Would hold the money in the trust for the minors, and right now Matt wouldn't have any say-so over that money. Okay, if Courtney passed away and you all were no longer trustees, it would be Micah. If
Okay.
Micah and Courtney were going to be co-trustees, co-successor trustees,
Yeah.
right now they wouldn't be anything except beneficiaries.
Right.
But something may happen, one of those four things, and they would move up to where they would be successor trustees.
Okay.
And if Micah passed away first, it would be Courtney who was in charge of Micah's share, and it would be held for Sawyer.
Okay,
Okay, and Whitney and Matt, it's the spouse's job to take care of the spouse. It's not the parents of the spouse. I mean, it's not it's Courtney's and Matt's job to take care of Courtney and Matt.
right.
Okay, so if something happens to Courtney, we would want to be sure that Courtney had enough life insurance or whatever so that Matt was okay without it affecting the flow of your assets to your
Okay.
grandchildren.
Okay.
And that's called first steps.
Okay.
Okay.
That would be good, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So that's pretty much how the trust works. So what I need to do, if it's okay, I'm just going to ask you some questions about your assets.
Okay.
Okay, you don't have to answer them, but it makes me a better advisor if I have every piece of information that I need. Okay, so what I want to start out with is your real estate holdings. Okay, understanding you all have a real nice home.
Mm.
Okay, do you own any other real estate?
No.
No,
Okay, so there's nothing out there in Nashville that you all
No.
no other states or anything like that. So that's your home. And what is your home worth right now?
well, there's a house for sale near us for $1 million.
Okay, all right.
That's smaller.
Okay, all right. And it's beautiful.
So I really don't know.
Well, I'm going to put $1 million down
Okay.
here.
Okay.
Okay. And what do you owe
About 90,000.
them? $90,000. Okay, and that's in Knox County.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. but you don't have any other properties.
No.
Can I ask you real quick, do you have any paperwork at all as far as a trust or a will or?
No.
Or no,
No.
do you have powers of attorney on each other?
I have,
You got to.
I have it on Greg, but he doesn't have it on me.
Okay, all right. And do you know who takes over if something happened to you?
Well, Greg would take over if
I guess
something
no,
happened to me.
no,
I guess
if-
by
No.
default.
If you have it on Greg and Greg needed it, he couldn't take over.
Oh,
Okay,
actually, I haven't looked at that in quite some time, so I'm not sure.
okay. Okay. A lot of people
Yeah.
are not sure. Okay, so they
Yeah.
forget what they've done. Okay. All right. So the next thing I want to cover a little bit is, have you made plans for any kind of long-term care? If one of you got critically ill, have you made plans for that?
Yes, I'm gonna take care of him.
Oh, okay.
That's what's gonna happen.
Okay. Well, you're a nurse. Okay. Greg.
Same thing, I'm gonna take care of her,
Okay.
um,
Okay. Unless you wind up on that table.
unless I wind up on the table
Oh, we
first.
have nothing for facility or anything
Okay.
like that.
Okay,
No.
all right, and we'll come back to that later. It's
Okay.
okay, all right. Now the next thing I want to talk about a little bit is about income. Because if you're going to have an estate plan, you have to be sure it's properly funded.
Mhm.
And one of those things is income that's going to last the rest of your lives.
Yeah.
Because most people are afraid that they might run out of income.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I want to talk about first is income that's not tied to assets. And I think Gwen, you're thinking about wanting to retire, aren't you?
Oh, I would like to soon, yes.
Okay. Do you know what your Social Security would be if you retired?
2,500.
$2,500.
27 if I wait till 67.
All right.
27.
2,700. And you were how old now?
65.
65. Okay. All right. So, Greg, do you know what yours? Have you already turned yours on?
I've already
Yes.
turned my social security on, it's, 23.
Twen-
Gross is 23.
23.
Okay.
Yes.
And Greg, I know you have IRAs and things, but do you have any other pensions?
No.
And Gwen, do you have another pension?
Yes. I have 2 more.
Okay, so tell me about those. What's the biggest one?
It's almost 100,000
Okay, that's a cash.
cash value.
Okay, so it's not a guaranteed income.
The guaranteed income with that is 700 a month.
All right, 700. Okay. All right. But it has $100,000 cash value
Yes.
if you wanted to liquidate it or move it or whatever. you
Correct.
want to. Okay. All right. How about the second one?
It's slightly less right now, but it's still, contributions are still going into that one. And I really don't know what the monthly
How
would
about a
be.
ballpark?
Probably 500.
Okay. All right.
It's
So
close to about the same.
okay. So those are incomes that are not tied to assets. You've got one that's a little bit tied to an asset. Okay. That's that 100,000. I think you have at UT Hospital.
Yes, correct.
So, what happens to that pension? Not your Social Security, but what happens to those pensions if you die? Go ahead.
They go away
Do they go away?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So they're not for the spouse or
for 1 month
for 1 month.
that he will get
Okay.
that payment.
Okay. All right. And if you did pass away, Greg would lose that $700 and that $500
Yeah.
and the lowest Social Security.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that would be
Mhm.
almost a $3,700 a month drop at the first death. Okay, so that's
Yeah.
something we want to cover and talk about later on. But I just want you to know that if you just took your Social Security money for both of you and your pension money, that's going to be about almost $6,000 a month. Will that be enough to cover your all's expenses? if
That
you
should
retire?
be
Okay.
in
Yeah.
today's prices.
Okay, so that's about $6,000, and first thing I want to find out when we do an income analysis is, do you have a gap? And the definition of a gap is when you have more expenses than the income not tied to assets.
Okay.
Okay, and right now what I just heard you say is that you don't have a gap right now.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But if you quit working, you'd have a little bit of a gap. Is that correct?
Yes.
So we'll cover that in a few minutes too. All right. Now, so you don't have a gap at this time, but you may have a cliff someday. Everybody here in this room right now is going to suffer a cliff at some point. There's
Yeah.
two types of cliffs. The first cliff is when one spouse dies, and all of a sudden we've lost about $3,500 a month, and that happens in about 30 days.
Yeah.
Okay, that's bam, big cliff.
Yeah.
The other cliff is when a spouse gets sick and expenses go up, but income doesn't change. Okay, I think that's happened to you guys once before in the past.
Yeah.
hasn't it? Okay, all right. So those are things we're going to be talking about, but most of these gaps and cliffs that we're going to be talking about are usually funded with accumulated assets. That's income tied to assets, where we were talking about income not tied to assets.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so income tied to assets right now, ballpark, if you could guess, about where would you be on an asset level that you could pull income from? Would it be 200,000, 500,000, 400,000, a million? And we know what the house is worth.
Right. Between 200,000 and 300,000.
Okay, about $300,000. Okay. Is that money in the market at risk right now?
It's in a low risk.
A low risk. Okay.
Yeah.
So when we talk about asset income tied to assets, it's usually funded. Two simple terms that I use. One is a maybe,
Yeah.
and the other one's a sure thing. Okay. So when we talk about income planning, what I need to know from you all is when you all actually do finish your retirement, do you want your retirement funded with a sure thing or maybe?
Sure thing.
Sure thing.
Sure thing.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So you've worked hard.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna come back to all that.
Okay.
Okay. Now, next thing I need to know is, and I'm just being honest with you, I'm a firm believer that your current health situation is a primary factor in your investment decisions. Would you agree?
Yes.
So I'm just going to ask you some questions real quick.
Okay.
You don't have to answer them, but it helps me give you better advice if I know what's going
Yeah.
on here. Okay. So, have either one of you all ever had a cancer or a melanoma or leukemia or Alzheimer's or organ transplant or a heart attack, heart surgery or stroke or aneurysm or kidney dialysis?
Stroke.
Okay, stroke. And Greg, you answered that that you've had a stroke in the past.
Yeah, it
Yes.
was a post-operative
Okay.
situation.
Okay, all right. Have you ever had AIDS?
No.
No.
Okay, so, okay. Have you ever had any problem getting any kind of life or health insurance or anything like that before?
No.
No.
Okay, all right. And then have you been hospitalized in the past 5 years?
No.
No.
Okay. All right. So even with your stroke, you haven't had any hospitalization or anything like that. Okay. All right. All right. So are you taking any serious medications for your stroke or?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Okay. All right. And do you smoke cigarettes?
Nope.
All right. So although you've had a major medical event, was there anything that happened during that medical event that has anything to do with this paperwork that we're talking about?
Our income changed during that time.
Okay, all right. And you had mentioned to me before that y'all had gone through some stressful situations because of lack of paperwork, or
Yeah.
Yes.
can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, Greg was scheduled for surgery,
Uh-huh.
which ended up leading up to these problems.
Uh-huh.
And it was kind of a last minute thing, and we realized we didn't have the power of attorneys that we needed. So we had to very quickly get something done before he went to surgery.
Okay.
So.
You know,
What-
nurse came in and asked for a living will, and we're going, huh?
Okay.
Yeah.
I noticed it. Okay, I understand
Didn't
that.
have the living will either. at
Okay.
that time.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna come back to that.
Okay.
Okay. The next thing I need to know is I need to just get a ballpark guesstimate of your assets. So it don't have to be accurate. To get close would be good. Okay. But I just need to know just to get an idea of where you are.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first thing I need to know is on your bank account. About how much money do you all keep in your bank account each month to pay your bills?
Over 6.
To pay, okay, there's several. So to pay our bills, it's well, actually, it's about 8,000.
Okay, okay. All right. Do you have any money in a savings account, not at work, just, and about how much do you keep in that savings?
About 20.
About 20,000?
Yeah.
Do you have any CDs?
No.
Okay.
Anymore.
All right. How are y'all doing on life insurance?
Well, I just got older. It went down.
Okay. So at work, your life
At
insurance
work,
starts going down.
Yes, because it's term
Okay.
and
Yeah.
all. So it went from 100 to 65,000,
Okay.
and we both have another $100,000 policy.
Both of you. Okay.
Both of us.
Okay. And those are term policies.
Yeah.
Isn't the 100,000 whole life?
I think it's whole life, 100,000. We'd originally set it up so that should anything happen to either one of us, there was enough money in life insurance, it would pay off the house.
Okay.
So we
Okay.
were trying to plan ahead that way.
Okay. All right. Now, all we want to do once we get our estate plan set up is be sure that we get the beneficiary arrangements right, because life insurance is tax-free, and we would want that to go into the trust to pay for the expenses of the house and everything until we get decided what we're going to do with that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do y'all own any annuities?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And do you know approximate value, cash value?
It's about 100,000.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And some of it's IRA and some of it's not
Exactly.
qualified. Okay.
Right.
It's various things.
It's, yeah. It's,
All right. So do you have any money in the stock market?
No.
No.
Okay. All right. No bonds or anything like that. No variable annuities.
No.
No.
Okay. All right. Okay. So looking at this, just to think about it, you've done a pretty good job with your assets. Don't you think it would be a good idea to have the proper paperwork to cover all this for
Oh.
these people in the family and to cover all these assets?
would
and
be.
things
There
like
would,
that?
yeah.
Yes.
We've put it off too long.
Okay. So is there any reason we shouldn't just do it tonight? It's $1,995. All I
Right.
need is a credit card, and we can have it set up and ready in about a week. Okay.
That'd be
So-
That
great.
would be good.
So
It'd be very good.
You said this was a revocable,
revocable
With a
trust,
revocable
the package,
trust.
all the documents that we've talked
and
about.
we could
Okay.
change it at any time without additional financial cost.
The only cost you would have if you came to me would be the printing of the new documents.
Okay.
Okay. And if I couldn't notarize it for you, you might have some notary expenses. So you'd have some miscellaneous office
Oh, really?
expenses.
Okay. Okay.
But you wouldn't have any more legal fees because you would own the license to change the trust at any time.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
That sounds good.
All right. Okay. All right. So this is Thursday night, about 5 o'clock. So usually if you could meet me at Thursday night at 5 o'clock today, you'd probably meet me at Thursday at 5 o'clock next week, couldn't you?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And what you would do is you would come in, and we would notarize everything, and we would get everything witnessed and get it delivered, and it would look something like this.
Oh,
Okay, so
cool.
you would have all your documents with your certificate of trust, and everything would be in this notebook.
Okay.
Okay, so we would make copies of it,
That's
and
nice.
then you would have it at home. And if
Okay.
anybody ever needed it, they could go straight to the book and see what your
That would
procedures
be
were.
good because we've both been through probating parents' situations, and it gets a little complicated when you're trying to scourge up documents.
Yes.
That's nice, it puts it in a
Okay.
good place.
Right. So we've talked a little bit about income, and most of the time people's biggest fear in their retirement is that they might run out of income.
Yeah.
Okay. So we want to talk about that. Not tonight. Okay. But next week when you come in to pick up your trust and get everything notarized and witnessed, I've thought about our conversation a little bit. I have some ideas that I want to share with you,
Okay.
but I need to do some research, and I need to run some numbers. So when
Okay.
you all come back in next Thursday, would it be okay for you all to take a look at your numbers on the income?
Yes,
and
that'd
stuff
be
like
really
that?
good.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That'd be
So-
good.
That's what we'll do, and I'll be prepared when you come in,
Okay.
and it'll take us about a week to get everything ready. And all I need to do is get that credit card.
Do we need, okay.
Okay.
Do we need to bring in the witnesses, or will you have those?
No, we supply everything for you.
Okay,
We'll do your
cool.
witnesses and your notary and everything like that.
Okay.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay.
Super.
All right, well, thanks for coming in. We'll get this done for you.
All
Appreciate
right,
it.
thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Done.